Hi, my name is John and this is Business Update. In this week's episode, we'll be talking about how Sony is making headway or making improvements in terms of how to improve their online platform with their subscription base. So we'll talk about that. As mentioned, so when you think of PlayStation or Sony's PlayStation, it's been a very profitable endeavor for Sony, the company. Obviously, by recently releasing their PlayStation 5 edition, obviously there's been a high demand but limited supply because of the global shortage of chips and so forth. But aside from making a lot of headway in terms of generating revenue, in terms of the popularity of the platform, is also offering the online subscription by means of offering digital games, by offering you a subscription base. And sadly, based on what Sony was initially offering, which is not that bad compared to other subscription based for other game platforms. You have Sony, obviously you have Microsoft's Xbox, and also you have Nintendo's online services. But obviously, which is kind of good news if you're a gamer here. Sony recently is planning to make changes, to make improvements so that make it more compelling for many gamers to retain their platform and not jump ship and go over to other platforms. And even I have considered maybe jumping ship or maybe owning multiple consoles here, because their main competitor, which is Microsoft, which owns Xbox, have been offering the Xbox Game Pass, which is kind of tremendous. I mean, in terms of offering you value for the amount that they're charging and the games of library that they're offering right away. But anyway, so according to the article here, according to Eurogamer.net, so PlayStation is reportedly taking on Xbox Game Pass with the new subscription service later this spring. Now, obviously, this has been brought about, as mentioned. It's not just the subscription, or it's not just the online platform that they're making headway, but Microsoft has been trying to acquire a lot of AAA game publisher as recently as Bethesda, which is owned by ZeniMax. Obviously, the popular games of Elder Scrolls, and then you also have Fallout series here, right? So makes it compelling to consider jumping ship. But anyway, in terms of offering here, if you look at the subscription base of what other companies are offering, and let's see what is Sony planning to do here. Will it be a compelling case here or not? We'll take a closer look. Now, for Microsoft Xbox, they have three tiers that they're offering for the console, for PC, and even for both. So let's see here. Sorry, where's Sony? There you go, there's Xbox. Okay, so for Xbox Game Pass, so they have a plethora of games. That the beauty of their Game Pass is it's not only a library of games from old, but also current and new games that's going to be published in the future, meaning you will gain access automatically once you have this Game Pass. So meaning games like the upcoming Halo Infinite. Is it Halo Infinite? Let's see here. The next iteration of the Halo, which is supposed to be released last year but was delayed, is going to be released later this year, which has been released actually. So that you could play it right away, so you don't have to pay an additional money. Now, my thinking here is, even though they're offering for free, I'm sure a lot of gamers would still like to purchase a physical copy of the game, which in turn technically generate additional revenue. Instead of paying for the price of one, you're paying for the price of two or even more, depending on which platform you're playing, whether it's on PC or even in console or in the Xbox Game Pass here. So obviously here, what Xbox is offering here is different tiers. You can play it not just on the console but also on PCs, in your phones, and in your tablets. And I think one of the key features that I think that stand out for Microsoft here is the being able to download the games and play it even offline. And I don't think this is applicable for PlayStation games. That's why I think it makes more compelling as to why people are subscribing to the Game Pass here. And I think there were roughly around 20 million subscribers already, and I think Sony is salivating on the fact that there's being missed opportunities not being taken advantage here. So let's take a look at the plans that they're offering here. So as you can see, they have offered 3 tiers of pricing here. So you have console, which is around $9, which is not that expensive. You also have PC for $9. And then for the ultimate, you can pay $15 on an additional $5, but you can play both console as well as PC if you have that luxury here. And you can notice here regardless of the package that you're subscribing, you get to play over 100 high quality console games from the past, present, and future games. And I think that's a compelling case even for me not to consider it as a viable option. The only thing that's stopping me from actually subscribing is I have to buy another console, and obviously is the library of games compelling for me to subscribe for it. And obviously there's a lot of gamers who are subscribing to Xbox already. And then not just the 100 games that they're offering, but also new games that will be added all the time, as mentioned. And you have Xbox Game Studios titles the same day as its release. So you can just imagine the upcoming games for, let's say, for Sony. You have Horizon Zero Dawn. You don't have to buy a new game already. You just have to subscribe to the service and you can play it right away. Or maybe the next iteration of the Grand Theft Auto 6, or even, I don't know, Red Dead Redemption 3 sometime down the line. So that makes it a compelling case. And what's interesting for PC, it also gives you the ability to play EA titles on PC. Now, I'm not too excited to play EA games as of now. And also, they are offering a gold subscription, meaning Xbox Live Gold includes deals with gold, with games with gold, and console multiplayer. And I think that's one of the more popular aspects of obviously subscribing online, is to be able to play online multiplayer games with your friends and families and so forth. And actually they have also EA Play here. So if you think about it, Microsoft or Xbox is doing a lot of headway in terms of offering value for their service. It's not just the library of games that they're offering, but the online component is somewhat tremendous here. Now compare that to Sony. So let's take a closer look what Sony is offering here. Now they offer PlayStation Plus here, right? Let's see here. So you can get access to multiplayer as well as monthly games here. But the key issue here is they're offering only a limited number of games every month. So it's not a plethora of library of games. So it's sort of a teaser of sorts. So every month you'll be given different titles here, which obviously PlayStation has a plethora of library of games already, from the PlayStation 1 days all the way to the current PlayStation 5 console. Now what they're offering is PS4 games here. Now I think it makes sense for them to even go as back as from the earlier versions, which is the PlayStation 1 console here, which I think makes it more compelling here, because if Microsoft can do it, I think so should Sony as well here. So let's see here what they're offering here. So subscribe to PlayStation Plus. So you can choose 3 of their options here, subscription models here. So you can pay a monthly subscription, which is roughly the same as Microsoft's $10 for 1 month. Or you could pay for 3 months, which is cheaper. So instead of paying $9 or $10, that should be $30 for 3 months. So you save roughly around $6 or $5 actually. And then it becomes more cheaper if it's 12 months, so you pay $60 in total. Now, obviously, the main downside of this is you can only get two games every month here. So you don't just get to select what games you want to play. So you're stuck with what they're offering here. Not only that, you have to be subscribed to the platform if you want to be able to continue to play the game. So let's say if, in my case, my subscription already lapsed, if I want to play those games, that's not possible anymore. I have to subscribe to it again. Not like in the case of Microsoft's Xbox here. But it's better than nothing, right? And obviously, Sony has noticed this, that there's a big opportunity that they're not taking, not seeing or missing on the opportunity of, providing value for gamers here, in terms of there's a big library that Sony has. And obviously at the end of the day, it's all about the games, the number of games that gamers can play. And if you offer them a wide variety, people will come in droves, similar to how Netflix is doing. They came first to the market, and obviously offering a wide variety of contents, from TV networks, TV shows, to movies, to even animated shows, and so forth. And if that platform can offer a wide variety, I mean, 200 million subscribers for Netflix, that's a pretty hefty amount. And if any of those gaming platforms could even just get close to that number, I think they would bring in not just millions of dollars, but tens of millions or even billions of dollars here. And if we were to compare to another platform, not just Sony, you also have Microsoft, then you have the third one, which is Nintendo here. Now, in terms of Nintendo, for my experience, I've subscribed to their online subscription, which is, to say the least, not appealing compared to the other two. So obviously, if we were to take a closer look, so they offer also an online subscription, so you can play all multiplayer game, as well as a catalog of old games, really old games, as you can see in a bit. So if we were to see, so online Nintendo Online Switch, they're offering, this was their original offering. So you have $4, which is, significantly cheaper compared to Xbox and Sony's here. But if you were to look at the plethora of games that they're offering, which is kind of paltry if you look at it closely, meaning games that go as way back as in the late 80s and 90s genre here. So, I like classic games more than any other person, but it can only, keep me entertained up to a certain point. So I would like to be able to play more modern games, which I think Nintendo has a wide variety of games that can offer as well, compete with the likes of Sony as well as Microsoft here. So what they did is they added a new offering, which we discussed before, by offering the expansion pack here, as you can see here. So the next tier here, so it's going to cost you a pretty penny. So as you can see, the Nintendo Switch Online plus the expansion pack, you're going to pay for an individual membership for $50. So that's twice the amount that you're paying for the original one. Now, is it compelling case? Now, obviously, it's still cheaper, but for me, I think, I'm pretty apprehensive in terms of, subscribing to this. If I'm giving those three options, I think, Nintendo's online offering is the least of my favorite. I would still pursue Microsoft's Game Pass, then PlayStation Plus offering, and then consider Nintendo Switch Online. But I don't think it's worth my pretty penny here. And if you look at their family membership, which they're offering for 12 months for as much as 8 users here, they'll charge you for $35, which is not expensive in a sense here. And if you were to look here, if you offer that for a family, they're going to charge you $80 here. So regardless if it's 8 members who's going to utilize it, but is it worth the money here? And you can see the plethora of games that they're offering. Let me see here what they're offering. So for the Nintendo 64 games, which is obviously a breath of fresh air compared to the NES games that they offered. Let's see how many games that they offer. So you have Mario Kart 64, which I've played. You have Zelda Ocarina of Time, which is a popular game. Then you have Star Fox, all in the late 90s. Mario Tennis, Super Mario 64, Dr. Mario, and Yoshi. Then that's it. So it's not that many the popular games in that platform. And then they're also offering the Sega Genesis games, which is another platform here. But what they're offering is all retro games, all the early 90s, from Sonic the Hedgehog in 1992, Streets of Rage 2, you also have Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hard Corps, and all in the early part of 1990. So is it compelling reason for me to subscribe because of those old games? I mean, I would love to play those old games, but obviously it needs to go in tandem with current and new versions. So it's not just N64, Sega Genesis. You also have Nintendo Wii. Nintendo Wii, right? So I think they should look in a plethora of platforms that they've created over a span of several decades already here. Anyway, going back to the article. So what is PlayStation offering here now? So obviously, what they were offering before is not, it's not convincing a lot of consumers to subscribe. I mean, there are people who subscribe, but it's not to the level of the popularity of how Microsoft is implementing it here. So let's take a closer look here. So Sony's two existing PlayStation subscription offerings. So you have PlayStation Now and then PlayStation Plus. Now they're going to merge it into a single package here. So they'll be retaining the name of Sony PlayStation Plus, which is, you know, a nice name. It has a ring to it. And then let's see what are they offering here. So Plus is required to play the majority of online games, obviously, and then provide subscribers with a small collection of each games each month, which I think it's you know, nowhere, you know, compared to the value that Xbox Game Pass is offering now. Now enables members to stream and download both recent and older titles in the PlayStation catalog. Now, how far back in the PlayStation catalog? I would like to see. Imagine if I can use my PlayStation 4 or, you know, eventually PS5 and play retro games. Can the machine be able to emulate that? So I can play the original Metal Gear Solid or the original, you know, Resident Evil 2, Veronica, and so forth. It says that Sony is now offering a 3 subscription tier for its service. So the first would be a functional, identical to the existing Plus offering. And then the second would give subscriber access to a large catalog of PlayStation 4 and eventually PlayStation 5. And then you have PlayStation Now. Streaming functionality is planned to be reserved for a third subscription tier, which will also extend to demos, libraries. So meaning, I think they're trying to copy what Microsoft is offering here. But obviously, at the end of the day, it's all about the games, the title of games, the number of games that they're offering, and the pricing here. So if we were to take a closer look, let's see here. So as mentioned, we have already Microsoft offering Game Pass here, and they have a very strong 18 million subscribers as of January this year. So you can just imagine 18 million times, you know, let's say if it's what do you call this, times the cost of the subscription. If it's just $10, that adds another zero, so 180 million richer every month. So you could just imagine how much it generates them every year. It's cash cow if you think about it. So people are continuing to subscribing if you offer more compelling case or more games that is, you know, entice people. Even to the point that in even newer games you are able to access immediately once you have this membership. Now obviously, what do you see this? So when are they planning to launch this? So they plan to release it in spring of 2022, so sometime next year. So question is, will it convince gamers in Sony's platform to subscribe to this one? Well, I think it's a better offering than what they're offering. So if you're already subscribed to their original membership category, then you just need to upgrade it. And you know, how much are they asking to charge here? I didn't mention here. So if it's roughly around somewhere $10 to $15, I think it's fair if you think about it. But obviously it stands to reason that Sony has to offer more games, not just 2 games per month, and they have to offer even the back catalogs of older generation from PS1, PS2, and even PS3 here. And until such time that happens, I think PlayStation or Sony is always at the defensive end. They're trying to catch up what Microsoft has been offering for quite some time already. And even Nintendo should look at what they call this, what Microsoft is offering, or even replicate what Sony is doing on their part and improve their online services. Because obviously at the end of the day, if you give gamers or anyone, you know, looking for entertainment, they'll play it wherever it's available. And if it's readily accessible, people would pay, a substantial amount, and even I. That's why even considering purchasing the Valve Steam Deck. Hopefully they'll arrive sometime early next year if I can get a unit. And obviously similar to what Nintendo Switch is offering, the portability, but obviously with limited games for the Switch. But if you think about the Steam Deck, which can play all PC games, so you can just imagine the value it can provide. And if you can provide the games, the AAA games, the performance that it can provide, you can just imagine a lot of people, not just contented in playing consoles at home, and once people resume their daily lives, traveling again, going to different places, a lot of people would be interested in buying the Steam Deck console here, which I think Nintendo should be concerned here, because I'm guessing that their sales would dip once the popularity or demand for Steam Deck has risen. And obviously Nintendo has been given years of headway to be the market leader in portability, portable consoles here. But we'll see if that's going to affect or dent their sales in the future here. Anyway, that concludes our discussion for this week. Come back again on Wednesday for more business update. Anyway, all the topics that I've discussed here, all the links are in the description below. And if you have questions regarding today's topic, feel free to leave your comments down below and I'll get back to you. As always, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.